My name is Alan Gaddis, and I'm the current president of the Rotary Club. We have fine panelists tonight with us from Campbellsville University Student Government. I want to introduce them to you. First thing, Kate Cecil. Kate, wave at everybody. Hannah Kendall and Shelby Bollinger. And they will be asking the questions tonight, and we want to thank them in advance for taking the time to do that and the support of Campbellsville University. Also, we are live on Facebook. We are live on Q104 Radio, and we also are being recorded by TV4 WLCU, also from Campbellsville University. So there's quite a bit of equipment around that you'll see tonight being used, and that is courtesy of both the radio station and the TV station. So it's a partnership effort to put this production together. We did invite all media to be here tonight. I want to acknowledge that Alex Broadband with the Central Kentucky News Journal is here, and she'll be covering the story and writing good things about whatever you all say, making you look good. I want to give a special shout out to Faye Howe for helping coordinate this, particularly in the fall this year. So Faye, thank you very much for your help. John Bertram is with us tonight doing our timekeeping and doing a yeoman's job. He had full knee replacement surgery 1 week ago today, but he's here to serve you tonight, so we want to thank him for that. Also, I want to let you know about this venue. It's called Primrose on Main, because it's on Main. And it is a great venue for a lot of different things. The Rotary Club meets here every Wednesday, but events like this happen here. Birthday parties happen here, bridal showers, just all kinds of special events. So Andrea Lawler and Luke Lawler make this possible for us to use this. So if you have a need that you can use this venue, by all means reach out to them, because it is a phenomenal asset to Campbellsville.
I worked 8 years at Fleetwood Travel Trailers. Most of my time at Fleetwood, I was in the accounting department where I was in charge of payroll for the entire plant. I feel my past training, education, and employment has given me the knowledge and experience needed to be successful as the next Taylor County Sheriff. Thank you.
Jerry, if you'd like to go ahead and go, and while you're coming up, I will just remind the candidates that your 2 minutes, Mr. Bertram will have a little marker at the 1 minute mark and then at the 0 mark. And if you're still talking at the 0 mark, you should be stopped.
Hi, I'm Jerry Whitlock, and I want to be and need to be your next Taylor County Sheriff. I am 56 years old, born locally in Marion County, but I am a resident of Taylor County for the last 46 years. I am a Taylor Countian. I am a proud graduate, 1984, of Taylor County High. My wife and Chiquita and I have been married for 36 years. I have 2 wonderful kids and now raising a niece and nephew. We are the grandparents of 5 beautiful grandbabies. I am of Baptist faith. I attend church in Taylor County. I have worked in the surrounding counties for the last 42 years, in and out of Taylor County and the surrounding counties. I want to ask, why get in law enforcement? Well, when I was 11 years old, I attended the Troopers Island. That was the start for me. It showed me that I had the respect for the law. This has been my lifelong dream. I admit my early working years that I did not work in law enforcement, but now is my time.
How much time is consumed by policing in the sheriff's office versus administration and taxing procedures? And based on this, how do you plan to address drug activity and crime or patrolling?
Well, let me start off with talking about the drug problem. According to Taylor County Coroner Daniel Cook, as of April of this year, that's 4 months into this year, we had already surpassed the overdose death total in all of 2021. With this in mind, I'll be promoting a detective to be in charge of our major felony cases, with special emphasis on the drug cases. This individual will also be our liaison with the Kentucky State Police Drug Task Force. I will be expanding the neighborhood watch program into a county-wide watch program using social media. Our on-duty deputies will have access so they can react as needed. Also, I want to get back into the school system to make a one-on-one connection with our youth. A good example of this is our involvement with the Truth or Consequences program implemented by the Taylor County Attorney's Office. This program takes young teenagers through real-life scenarios of crimes involving drugs and alcohol. This helps teach these young people how their lives can be totally changed after a single incident or drug or alcohol use. And what was the other part of your question? Or am I out of time?
Based on this, how do you plan to address drug activity and crime or patrolling?
Okay, crime, we'll be on patrol. We're gonna be out among our constituents, and we will be speaking with anyone we can, anyone with information about any drugs or crimes.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll ask the next question back to Jerry, and while he's coming back up, if you're listening on Facebook, and I know we're having a little bit of video issues apparently, this is also being recorded by TV4 WLCU, and it will be provided a link tomorrow by noon that you can rewatch this as well. So if you're on Facebook and getting a little frustrated, I hear you. Go ahead, Kate.
I'm going to ask you the same question. So how much time is consumed by policing in the sheriff's office versus administration and taxing procedures? And based on this, how do you plan to address drug activity and crime or patrolling?
Okay. There's a lot of business aspect to this. You've got your deputies. That's going to help with what's going on the street. As far as the drugs, yes, there's a lot of problem with the drugs in the county and in the city. The tip hotline should help. To me, I think that as far as drugs and people stealing or whatever to get those drugs, then people can help themselves. You want to secure your property. You want to take pictures of all your personal stuff. I would write down all my serial numbers. This, will, in the end, help if something does get stolen from you and somebody's going to use it for drugs, that the local law enforcement, the sheriff's department, can actually help find your stuff. As far as the people, I think we need some kind of place where we can actually help the people that's on the drugs to help them get off the drugs, because that's the problem too. And then the other thing is teaching our kids. I think we should be in our schools or help within our schools, teach our young kids to help not be scared of the law enforcement, not be scared of the sheriff, and not to be wanting to get on drugs. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Hannah, if you would ask the next question to Mr. Benningfield, please.
I know you already mentioned this earlier, but how many deputies does the sheriff's department have, and what are their main roles? And do we have deputies with specialized functions or roles?
We currently have 7 road deputies, full-time road deputies. They're patrol, the 7 are patrol. We also have a forensic deputy, Captain Brian Pickard, who takes care of our electronic, anything involving a cell phone or a computer. But we just currently have 7.
All right, our next question then will be by Shelby, and that'll be for Mr. Whitlock.
Do you have any plans to increase gender and racial diversity within the department?
What my plans are to address the budget and have no unnecessary spendings. Meet with the deputies and staff to make sure they're willing to give 110%, as I will, to see where their heart is. Communicate with the deputies and what their needs are to make their job better. This be equipment, safety, hours worked. Establish good working relationships with fiscal court. Establish good working relationships with city, other county agencies, and state authorities. Always to serve and protect the people and to earn their respect and to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Kate, would you repeat that question for Dickie so that he could have opportunity to answer that same question, please?
Yes. Do you have any plans to diversify the department by adding a female and/or person of color?
The answer to that is please apply. As I spoke earlier, we're short-staffed, and I welcome anyone qualified to apply.
Thank you. I think the next question is also one that will be great for both candidates. Hannah, if you would ask that to Mr. Whitlock, please, number 6.
How do you feel that the Sheriff's Department and Campbellsville Police can work better together?
Well, again, that falls back to the tip line, communication with the people. They can't just work their own entity. They need to work as one. We got to be as one. The same thing with the state police. You have to work as one. So they need to unite, use the tip line, listen to the people, communicate. They're our friends. We should be their friends.
Dickie, do you need the question repeated again?
Yes, please.
How do you feel the Sheriff's Department and Campbellsville Police can work together?
We have a great working relationship with the Campbellsville Police Department. We back each other up every day on every call we can. We know if we go on a hot call that if there's any way possible that and there's just one of us out on duty, there will be a Campbellsville police officer back us up, and we're the same way. Anything that happens in town, if there's a deputy available, we will be there. We have a great relationship.
Thank you. Jerry, the next question will be for you from Ms. Kate Cecil.
What are the qualifications to be a sheriff or to be a deputy? Do you accept the minimum requirements, or do you have a policy you can share that will require more training than the minimum?
What makes me the best candidate? My law enforcement experience. I got 10 years of law enforcement experience with Marion County Detention Center. I was a sergeant and shift leader on several occasions, including 2 3-month occasions where I was lieutenant charge and shift of jail staff, 300 inmates dealing with all law enforcement and community. Also, while working at Marion County Detention Center, I did part-time transport for the state of Kentucky under the directions of the United States Marshals. I have 500 hours of state-issued training, as well as being certified in weapons training, legal and non-lethal weapons, certified in that training. And I believe we need to get more training for our deputies in non-lethal weapons. My leadership, I was 11 years old. I learned to give it all, to do the right thing. When I was 19, I went to public work and worked as an entrepreneur and worked 2 jobs for the last 46 years. Even public that I have worked, I have more than and quickly moved up in leadership qualities. I've always been close, chosen to train other personnel anew, and can relate to all people. My integrity, I am the honest, hardworking, and give 110%. I promise to you that no one can outwork me. I will be the greatest sheriff that you've ever had. Not afraid to work 24/7. Our sheriff, I will work night, weekends, help my deputies, serve to protect the people, and earn their respect.
Thank you very much. Dickie, would you like to have an opportunity to respond to that question? If you get Hannah to repeat that, please.
What are the qualifications to be a sheriff or to be a deputy? Do you accept the minimum requirements to do, or do you have a policy you can share that will require more training than the minimum?
Everyone hired as a deputy sheriff has to go through the Department of Criminal Justice training. There's certain physical tests that they have to pass. There's a polygraph test they have to go through. There's a suitability to make sure that the individual is right for law enforcement. When you come out, when you go in, if you pass and we send you to the academy for 18 weeks, when you come out, you're qualified. And then every year after that, you're required to take a 40-hour class that every law enforcement officer in Kentucky is responsible for. So you're going to be well trained.
Nick, if you'd like to stay up there, the next question is going to be directed for you.
Right.
And Shelby, would you ask that, please?
You've been an essential part of the Sheriff's Department for several years. What are the first 3 things you will change if elected?
Well, I'll be hiring, as I spoke of before. So to be fully staffed, that's one of my first priorities. To have up-to-date equipment, make sure everyone's got a vehicle that will get them through the winter, the right protective gear. And just to meet the training standards.
Thank you very much. Jerry, I believe this question will be directed for you, and Kate Cecil will be asking you that.
What are 3 things you already know that you will change immediately if elected?
Things I want to accomplish and goals. Now, I might have more than 3. I have the Sheriff's Office to run the most efficient and possible way. No waste of taxpayers' money. I can save the taxpayers $50,000 to $200,000 in 4 years. Sheriff's Office to have officers that will give 110% and protect and serve the people of Taylor County. At least one officer on duty 24/7 with sheriff and high deputy on call. Always at least one canine unit on staff at all times, and I'd love to get the second one. This is for the search of vehicles, for rescue and personnel, and also to prevent drugs in our school system. Always more training for officers and more training in non-lethal weapons and certain situations. More community involvement. Events with sheriff and officers for the public and their kid. We need to let them know that we're not the bad guys, we're not the enemy, we're the good guys. So people can know us, learn and trust us, respect and serve the public of them. More education programs involved in our schools, teaching our kids to stay away from drugs. Earning our respect, because they are our future. Tell them to do the right thing, because it's the right thing to do. Look into the possible of electric vehicles. If we can save money, something we can check on or check into. Apply for all possible grants. The money is there. We have to work to find it.
Thank you very much. And this will be the last questions of the evening for the sheriffs before their closing statement. Hannah, if you would like to ask the last question of Mr. Bingfield.
Please share with us any specific plans you have if you take the position of sheriff that we might have not already addressed tonight.
As sheriff, I will lead from the front. I will not ask my deputies to do or staff to do anything. Will not do myself. I will be accessible. My door will always be open to discuss your needs and concerns. We currently have a great bunch of dedicated and knowledgeable deputies and office staff. As sheriff, I will not micromanage the department, but as their leader, we will always put our constituents first, following the rule of law, by serving the community with honesty and integrity, and following the Constitution we have sworn to uphold. Let me state that again. We will faithfully uphold the Constitution of the United States of America.
Thank you, Dickie. And Jerry, if you would like to,
I need to add one more thing.
okay.
I have worked under two great sheriffs, Sheriff Allen Newton and before him, Sheriff John Shipp. And I want to continue the dedication they've made to making Taylor County a safer place to live and work.
Thank you. Jerry, if you'd like to wrap up with the question, share with us any specific plans you have for the office that maybe we haven't discussed tonight, and then going into your closing.
My plans is, like I said, we're going to make sure there's no wasted spending of money. I want to get all the deputies that I can that need to do and to serve and protect the people of this county. What was the rest of it there on your question?
Well, the question was just, was there any specific plans that we haven't covered tonight? And then you can just go into your closing statement for your
I
wrap-up.
think I've talked about all the plans that I need to do. I think I'm pretty good on that. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Everything else. Do you have anything else for a wrap-up, Dickie?
My closing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I spent the past 15 years serving the county as deputy sheriff. During this time, I've answered over 15,000 calls and complaints, and I still love my job. I love my county, I love my state, I love my country. If I'm elected sheriff of Taylor County, the same dedication I have put into being a deputy sheriff, I will put into being sheriff. I will always place the interests of the citizens of Taylor County first. I pledge fair and equal treatment to everyone. If elected, I will be the sheriff of Taylor County, but the department will belong to you. I ask for your vote and your support in November election. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. You go ahead.
I want to thank everyone for having me here tonight, and all those listening on radio and watching on TV. On November the 8th, you will be asked to make a very important decision. It will determine the next Taylor County Sheriff. I hope you've been listening and have to come to the decision that I am the best choice. I have the law enforcement experience necessary. I have the leadership qualities. I have the leadership qualities to do a great job. I can make a difference. I have the utmost integrity. I'm asking that you go in and elect Jerry Whitlock, your 26th Taylor County Sheriff. I will be the greatest sheriff ever. Remember, nothing else, if you remember nothing else from tonight, to always do the right thing, because it's the right thing to do. We can make a difference. My voice is spoken. Thank you. God bless us all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Hey, do you need a break, or are we good to keep going on? Okay. All right, we're going to roll right on into the county judge office then. I wasn't sure if the radio was going to require us to have a break. So if I could get Barry Smith and Eddie Rogers to come forward, they will start with their 3-minute opening, and then we'll roll right into questions. And Eddie will go first, I believe, if that's alphabetical. Smith, R, yeah, that's good. All right.
Good evening. I'm Eddie Rogers. I'm a local as local can be. Campbellsville is my home as well as your home. I grew up in Taylor County in the Meadow Creek and Lemons Bend area. I have 3 children, Michelle Rogers Porthras, Wynn Rogers, Edwin Rogers Jr., and Natalie Rogers. In 1999, we were devastated in this community. As most of you know, Fruit of the Loom left. Really, in 1999, they announced that they were leaving. 6 months later, Batesville Casket announced that they were leaving. We went from 4.9 unemployment to 24.9 unemployment. When we talk about industry coming to Taylor County, there was one thing that we all hate, and that's taxes. Nobody likes to pay taxes. 9 days after taking office in '99, went to Frankfurt. Talked with the governor and lieutenant governor. Asked about some of the things that we needed to do. Amazon was looking at us, but you had to have an incentive for them to come. That incentive was that the county would give 1% tax exempt. The state would give a 3% tax exempt. My agreement with the court was that we would go with this and talk with the city and split the occupational tax 50-50. That's how we got Amazon here in Taylor County. Invact, Murakami. Those are a few of the industries that came to our community, and we were blessed. And again, my time is up. I've got more to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll give you a chance to say that throughout the evening. Barry Smith, if you would make your opening statement.
Good afternoon. My name's Barry Smith, and I'm running for re-election for your county judge executive. I'm a Christian. I'm a deacon at my church at Good Hope Baptist Church. Been married to my wife, Kim, for 26 years. Have 2 children, Rylan and Dwight. 3 grandkids. I told Hal I might forget their names, so I'm not going there, but anyway. But I love this job. Started work back in the 80s. Went to work for Cisco Food Service. I worked there for 18 years. Left there, and my brother and I bought our own business. Well, we discovered we had to have insurance pretty quick. So went to work for Taylor County School Systems. Worked there for 16 years. And then, I'd always dreamed about holding this position, and I love it. And as Dick said, I love my county. I love Taylor County and Campbellsville. I grew up here, lived here all my life. Know many of you, and several have crossed my paths holding this office. Known Eddie all my life, too. Always thought a lot of Eddie and still do. Eddie's a good friend of the family. But I love this job, and I would like to continue on serving and being a servant and doing what I do. So I served on several boards over the years also. I served on the Conservation Board, Taylor County Conservation District. My dad was always big in that and instrumented the dead animal removal, which was huge, and we fund that through the fiscal quarter, helped fund it. And, there's been so much trouble finding people to go to work through this pandemic, but I think we're back on the right track. The numbers come in, I see them, and people are going back to work. So let's just hope that continues forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. And our first question will be from Kate Cecil, and we'll start with Eddie Rogers.
What will be your top 3 priorities as Taylor County Judge Executive over the next 4 years, and what are 3 specific things you will do in your first 100 days of office?
Again, I will work with Frankfurt. Frankfurt is a key of getting industry into our community. As you know, we are probably known as a university town. We need to work with the university, the students that graduate from the university, that they stay in our community. But industry is one of the major things that we need to accomplish here in our community. So many times that we look at what the university has meant to our community. The university is a backbone of helping to bring industry into our community. What was the other part?
What are 3 specific things you will do in your first 100 days of office?
Well, like I said, going to Frankfurt and working with Frankfurt to bring more industry, working with our security as far as sheriff and police department with the drug problems that we have in our community. Also, mental status, the mental problem that we have, not only in our community, but all over the state of Kentucky. There is a big problem there. And now, what's created the mental part is there's a lot of the young people and the older people, they just give them medicine to calm them down, and they put them back on the streets. And we've got to do something desperate to help the young people and the older people with the mental problem.
Thank you very much. Barry, I believe that Kate would like to ask you that same question, if you'd repeat that, Kate.
What are your top 3 priorities as Taylor County Judge Executive over the next 4 years, and what are 3 specific things you will do in your first 100 days of office?
Well, the first 100 days, I would like to go back and do what I wanted to do the 100 days that COVID took away from us. I do work close with the governor. We have a Zoom call at least once a week, and he assures me that we've got some money coming for broadband. Everybody knows our broadband is kind of not the best, and I in the process of building a splash pad out at Veterans Park, and that's been halted due to government shutdowns. They're only working 3 days a week in their offices, and the other time they're home from working, and they don't have all their paperwork at home that they should have. But anyway, I do work close with the Sheriff's Department. I work close with I have 113 county employees that are employed at the county barn, and they're the best. They're absolutely the best. I can get a call on a road problem, and I call my road foreman, Brian, and he's there immediately. I don't have to worry about calling him back. So I want to continue with all of that and keep it going as it is. Thank you.
Barry, if you'd stay up there, we'll just go ahead and rotate a little differently on this.
Okay.
Hannah, if you'll ask the next question and to Mr. Smith.
How will you support the Taylor County Tourist Commission to properly promote not just the county, but the city as well?
Taylor County Tourism has my 100% support. Now, as a fiscal court, we are in charge of the board only, and the board is in charge of appointing the director or placing the director in that. But we went to the fair, the tourism went to the fair, Alan was a big part of that. It was fantastic, it was great. When I was there was people come from all over the state to stop and brag on our booth. They did an excellent job, but tourism has my support. I would like to see a new lodge someday too, but there you go.
Eddie, I think you'd like to ask you that same question, please.
How will you support the Taylor County Tourist Commission to properly promote not just the county, but the city as well?
Just repeat it again. You're
Sorry.
muffling on me.
How will you support the Taylor County Tourist Commission to properly promote not just the county, but the city as well?
Tourism, we go back to 1999 with tourism. Tourism was instrumental with the Green River Lake, which is a hidden jewel. That is one thing that I would like to see in my next tenure, if elected, is a lodge, a civic center, an aqua center, hopefully with the city and the county of doing an aqua facility, not only for our school systems, for Taylor County and city school, but also for the university. The people that swim, they have to go out of state, or not out of state, out of the community to practice. That's one of the major things that I would like to see if elected. in the tourism part of it, because that brings people into our community, and when the people come in, that's dollars. Thank you.
very much. If you'll stay up there, we'll go ahead and give you the next question as well. Shelby, if you would ask the next question to Mr. Rogers.
What do you plan to do to improve the issues with the animal control?
And you're muffling. I'm sorry.
What do you plan to do to improve the issues with animal control at the shelter?
Okay, as you know, in 2008, we had a puppy mill that was really created a problem for our community. In my tenure, we built a new animal shelter. We did a regional, as far as other counties bringing their animals into our community, and we were housing them. But the puppy mill thing was it was a civil matter, not a county matter. But we, as a court, we were blamed that we mistreated animals, which was not true. And these are the things that I'm an animal lover, was raised on a farm, and animals are of my choice of animals to keep, not only for families, but for show animals, whatever. Okay?
Thank you very much. Barry, if you would like to answer that same question, she will repeat the question for you.
What have you done or plan to do to improve the issues with animal control at the shelter?
Okay, well, in the past 4 years, we have had a couple directors come and go. The director we have now has resigned, and I'm in the process of placing a new director. But the animal shelter is running, it's running great. We have very few issues. I don't care what kind of business you run as a business, you're going to have an issue or two. I am an animal lover. I have 4 dogs, 7 cats, and 20-some cows. So I love animals, and will always do the right thing. And if somebody does wrong, they will be reprimanded, as they should be. So, in saying that, but I think the animal shelter is headed in the right direction. We have added some pens out there. It is very clean, and our ACOs, we have 2 that goes out on calls into the county, and the new administrator will also be on call on weekends also. So I guess that's a question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if you'd like to stay and take the next question from Ms. Kate Cecil.
With the battery manufacturing facility being built in Glendale, how do you plan to work with the city government to make opportunities and address challenges?
Of course, we know that that battery factory is going to be here running in 2 to 3 years. And we know, in fact, there's a meeting proceeding this Thursday about 210, the widening of 210. And 210 would be an absolute must, because a lot of people from here will be going to work at that battery factory. I mean, it's just the way it'll be. And we hate to lose. We have Murakami, we have Amazon. Amazon, our largest employer, Campbellsville University, our second. And of course, university I don't think would lose people, but Murakami, Ingersoll Rand, that type would lose, and we'd work with the city to try to hold those jobs and keep those jobs safe for these companies. Because, and we'll probably get some type of spin-off factory from that company. There's been several to come and look. Ron McMahon takes care of that. And there has been several inquiries about some land that we have, looking at it. Is it big enough? The infrastructure and all that. And there's work to be done yet. But there are so many still looking for looking to hire. I noticed WHI, Ingersoll Rand, Murakami, they're hiring every day. Amazon also. So, it's just going to be a struggle to getting the people back to work as it should be. Thank you.
Thank you. Eddie, I'd like for her to repeat that question for you, please.
With the battery manufacturing facility being built in Glendale, How do you plan to work with the city government to create opportunities and address challenges?
The first thing I will get with whoever becomes mayor, we will go to Frankfort. Frankfort is our asset. We have a hidden jewel. When I say a hidden jewel, it's the Green River Lake. There has to be some part of the battery factories that's going to need water, and hopefully that satellite, whatever satellite industry that we can attract, hopefully I don't know if they've set a date for the factory in Glendale, but Glendale which there will be E-Town will have a battery factory, and also Glendale will have a battery factory, and hopefully that we can accomplish working through Frankfort and let them know that we're looking to help for industry to come to our community.
Thank you very much. If you'll just hang tight, we'll give you the next question. Eddie, if you'd like to stay up there, we'll give you the next question. And it's like Hannah will be asking that.
What do you plan to make sure that everyone in Taylor County has adequate broadband internet service?
I didn't grow up with internet. The internet is the future, and we as a community and the city and county, we need people that are knowledgeable on all of the internet part of industries, community assets, whatever. We need to work with the university because that's the people that are smart and know how to work with the internet. We have to have internet. It's the thing of the future. It's been the thing of the future for many years.
Thank you very much. Barry, if you would entertain that same question, please.
Do you need me to repeat it?
There's fiber going up every day. We now have Duo, we have Comcast, and we have Windstream. And Spectrum is our neighbor in Marion County. And in fact, I talked to a gentleman that was putting fiber up the other day for Windstream, and he laughed and said, well, it's not working. But Kentucky Ward has came and started all this, and actually there's a pod at the courthouse where Kentucky Ward has came into. Now, Duo is really making the push in a 5-mile radius around Campbellsville. And they are really, Duo's going to be the one to watch, I believe. Now, the governor, last time he was here in Taylor County, we were working on a water project and got money for that. And he assured me that we would be getting money for broadband, the tune of a little over $5 million. And so to get $5 million, then Duo will have to put up $5 million. It's kind of a partnership thing. We put up, they put up. So it kind of works hand in hand. And I've been working on this for this broadband thing. It's just, of course, you're not going to have much hair. You just pull your hair out trying to get this done. But if we can get this broadband done, it will broaden our community big time, and the university will be pleased also. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And if you'll just hang tight, Shelby has a question for you that we'll move right along with.
You have both served as county judge before. What is one lesson you each learned that will make you a better judge this term?
Always be good to the animal shelter. I say that joking, but I'm serious. Listen, there's problems going on right now, and there's a lady here tonight that she has a problem, and I've addressed it. And you know, I don't know. I mean, there's got to be solutions to some of these problems, and dogs bark, but there's got to be a happy medium in there somewhere to where you can work it out between neighbors and fences but I will do the right thing with it, and I will try to get to the bottom of it. But the animal shelter has been one of the biggest challenges in my first 4 years in, is to keep it running smooth, but it's done well. It really has. We've had good help. it's all in how you surround yourself with the help that you place, and it's doing well. So, thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. If you would like to entertain that same question, I'll be glad to have it repeated for you.
What is one lesson you learned that will make you a better judge this term?
To be a better judge, I'm Eddie Rogers. I'll always be Eddie Rogers, and I'm going to be for everyone in this community. Not one, but for all Taylor Countyans. I will work hard for you, as I've worked the past 16 years that I was judge executive, and I will continue to do what's right. You're not going to please everybody, but I'll do my best to please everyone and give them the opportunity to come into my office and talk to me personally. And anything that I can do to make Campbellsville and Taylor County better, that's on my agenda.
Thank you very much, and if you'll hang tight, we'll give you the next question. Changing gears just a little bit, Kate, would you ask the next question, please?
What ideas do you have to increase affordable housing in our area, and what can you commit to this issue?
Housing is a in every county, every city, housing is a problem. I've worked close with our housing people. I know that there is a waiting list. A lot of people are depressed right now. They don't hardly have enough money to meet rent. So housing is a very important thing for all of Taylor County and the Commonwealth.
Thank you very much. Would you repeat the question for Mr. Smith, please?
What ideas do you have to increase affordable housing in our area, and what can you commit to this issue?
Well, there's apartments being built on every corner now, seems like, and our population increased by 1,600. So that's 1,600 more residents we have, whether it be children or adults. It went up 1,600. The cost of lumber has eased up, but interest rates went up also. And, you know, as a county, I really don't, you know, we can't set the interest rate and we can't, you know, tell Lowe's what to sell lumber for. But through these tornadoes, these people have rebuilt their homes and people have come together. And Taylor County is something that people always come together, seem like, even through difficult times. And when land's bringing $10,000 an acre, you can't farm land for $10,000 an acre. So they're building duplexes and they're building apartments and all that on it. And that's going to continue. That's not going to change. And that's going to house several people when we do get this factory in here that's going to come, and it is coming. So thank you.
Barry, if you'd like to hang tight, we'll get you the next question, and Hannah will ask you that.
There seems to be a lot of challenges with our recycling program. What will you do in the first 90 days to correct this?
Hopefully get the new one started. We've acquired some land. We have some land, and it's approximately 2 acres that was given to us by the EDA and Economic Development Department. And hopefully we've got plans for, it's about an 80 by 60 new structure. And we've also put in for some new recycle bins. We have bins all over the county now. And we try to go east, west, north, and south. Everybody's got bins, from Dobson Campers to Compton Smith Battery to Mount Mansville. I mean, and people use them. It is one of the most used things in Taylor County. I mean, it's like we can empty the one spot on a Thursday, well, it's full by Saturday. So, I mean, it's just a revolving thing. But I want this new facility built. It's going to be built with ARPA funds, which the American Rescue Act money, which came in. And when I put that through to our people, they were so excited about a new facility, and it needs to be built. Tyler County's big on recycling. The only thing we don't recycle that we need to is glass. And I'm trying to find a place that will take glass. And I understand that glass is one of probably the hardest things to handle, the breakage of it, but one day we'll find somebody that will take that glass. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rogers, if you would entertain that same question, and it'll be repeated for you.
There seems to be a lot of challenges with our recycling program. What will you do in the first 90 days to correct this?
Recycling is something that every community has a problem with. Waste Connections is our disposable people that come and pick up our garbage every day. But recycling, if we don't recycle, we're going to end up with illegal dumps like we have in the past. But recycling is hard to get the older clientele to recycle. The young people understand what recycling means. And if we don't recycle, we're going to bury ourselves in garbage. And that's why it's very important that we start at the kindergarten all the way up of teaching our young people and our older people to recycle. Because if you look at some of the waterways in other states, look what it's done to our drinking water. And not only in our community, but the whole Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Thank you very much. And if you'll hang tight, we'll give you the last question for the evening. And Shelby is going to ask that.
In your own words, what is the job of the county judge executive?
Well, if you walk down the street and you say you're a judge executive, they think you're a judicial. But the judge executive's duties, he wears many hats. Anything from recycling to the animal shelter to the jail, detention center. All of those fall under the county judge's duties. If there's a disaster, and we just got through with 2 disasters here in our community, the judge executive is the one that should be out there working with those people that have met disaster, their housing, that was their livelihood. So as county judge, that is one of the major things, because that is his top duty, is to oversee what goes on in the community.
Thank you very much. And if we could move over to Mr. Smith on that same question, please. And I'm sure it will be repeated for you.
In your own words, what is the job of the county judge executive?
Well, the county judge oversees physical court meetings, which consist of 6 magistrates. Each magistrate has its own district, and it is split like 6 ways. It also, like I said, oversees the detention center, the judicial center, the animal shelter, the road crew. They all report to the county judge executive, and it's a big job. You serve on several boards. I got appointed to the executive board for the Lake Cumberland Ad District, which several grants comes through that board. And that's one of the big things, and I'm on the water board and the transportation board over there also. You're on the health department board, which is a big thing for Taylor County. Plus, you're on the health department board over in Jamestown, which is the main health board for the 10-county area. So there's a whole lot to do, and but you know it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable when you go out and into the county and see things that people have done, and how, just as Eddie mentioned, the 2 tornadoes we had. Who would have thought 3 weeks later after the first one we had another one? And I mean, it's just amazing that how people came together. Tyler County Bank, we had funds set up there, the extension office took care of the farming end of it. I mean, and it just all came together, and it was really great and very humbling on how it all worked out. So, thank you.
Thank you. And then what we will do for our closing is I want to give you, the question is, why do you feel that you're the best candidate for the office? And if you would just work your answer in with your 3-minute closing,
Okay.
that would be great.
Okay. Well, I feel that I'm the best candidate for the job. I've done this for 4 years, and I love my job. And as I said before, I love Tyler County. I love Campbellsville. I will work with the mayor's office, and I think I've already proved that. I work with the sheriff's office. I work with the coroner, and like I said, the road crew. And it just takes, they call me anytime. They call me at home. I've had calls from 911 at night. I mean, you just have to be able to work with everyone. The chief of city police as well as your sheriff. I mean, they go through 911. They may have a call where they need you. So they call me, and they know my my door's always open at the office. And I moved to a little office in the back to kind of accommodate some of our help workers over there. When I come in, the ladies needed more room, so I took a smaller office. But anyway. But it's all great. I have a good staff. The employees are all, when they come in, they're happy. There's no, I don't like sadness. I'm an upbeat person. Got a shot in my knee today. It really helped. I've been limping around now. John's had his fix, so I thought I'd better get a shot in mine. That would help. But I love this community. I really do. And I'd like to be your judge executive for at least 4 more. Thank you.
Thank you. And Eddie, the same thing. The question is, why do you feel that you're the best candidate for the office that you're running for? And if you would just weave that answer in with your closing 3-minute statement, please.
Well, I was your county judge executive for 16 years, and if you look back of what the accomplishments that were made in my 16 years as judge executive, industry, bridges, roads, many home place on Green River, Nature's Conservancy, Tibbs Bend Toll House, Nature's Conservancy, the old toll house building, instrumental in the Northern Bypass with the help of some of our people that have passed on. Ivan Blevins. A lot of you may not remember Ivan Blevins. Norman Christie, that just passed away. They were instrumental in what has happened under my leadership of helping me to make our community a better community. The animal shelter, I know that was brought up many times. A new animal shelter was built under my tenure. A lot of this was not only done by physical court, but by the help of Frankfort. And I'm not bashful about going to Frankfort and asking for help. In closing, I would like to say that my leadership, my time as county judge executive has been great. Great, great, great. I have the experience. I'm dedicated. I'm dependable. I'm integrity. I'm energetic. I'm reliable. I'm organized. I'm governing. I'm economical. I'm responsible. Serving not one, but all of Taylor Countyans. I ask for your vote, and if you didn't catch all of that, that all spelt out Eddie Rogers. You caught it. but I look forward to being your next county judge executive. And on November the 8th, think of Eddie Rogers. Thank you. God bless.
I will ask our candidates for mayor to go ahead and take their place. Are we good? All right. If you're joining us late by either Facebook or listening on Q104 radio, I will remind you that we'll have a recording tomorrow, a video that you can link off of the Rotary Facebook page. It should be up by noon tomorrow. So there may have been some video and audio issues on the Facebook feed that should be corrected on that link tomorrow. That's mainly because of WLCU TV and their services that they're providing us. I did notice that we had representatives of all the media had come in for a period of time, so I want to thank them for making sure that they made themselves available to us. So on that point, we will move right on into the mayoral race. And let's see, Benningfield, that'd be first. All right, if you'd like to give your opening statement first, Mr. Benningfield.
I'd like to thank the Rotary Club of Campbellsville for hosting this debate tonight. I'm honored to be here and to share my vision and direction for Campbellsville, if elected mayor. I was born and raised in Campbellsville. I greatly enjoy living in this community. I attended Campbellsville High School in Western Kentucky University. I married to Kathy Benningfield. We have 3 daughters and 4 precious grandchildren. I pursued a career with the Kentucky State Police for 22 years, and then I was chief police here from 2005 to 2011. And I worked for the Kentucky Board of Auctioneers. I'm not an auctioneer, I just work for them. And also the Kentucky Real Estate Authority as a compliance officer. And I'm currently the Alcoholic Beverage Control Administrator for Campbellsville. I've had the pleasure of getting out in the community since the start of this campaign. And I've gone door to door, and since the start of my campaign, I have listened to the concerns and recommendations from the citizens of this community. I've also had the pleasure of speaking with some local businesses, our leaders in the communities, our schools, and the hospital, and as well as regional cities such as Elizabethtown and Lebanon. I've met with these leaders. And I think it's important to have a relationship on a regional aspect of it, that we can all work together and help each other effectively. And I understand not just the needs of today, but what we need to do to set up success in the future. And there's a lot of outlines that I don't have but a minute left, but I want to get into, and hopefully those questions will be asked. So, but I appreciate this opportunity, and hopefully we can get into it with the question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Young, if you would make your opening 3-minute statement, please.
Sure. Our city's at a crossroads. We have to decide where we're going to go for the future. We've seen in the past 3 years or so, the hindsight is 20/20. I've said it before. If you're not moving forward, you're going backwards. We need to stop going backwards. Progress has been made in the recent months to see where we stand financially. Our current mayor has made many fiscal changes to improve the city's financial situation. During my administration, we made much progress in many areas: emergency services, water improvement projects, and beautification of downtown and parks development. We had financial stability. We had $2 million in savings that did not exist before I was mayor. My record proves my ability to manage the city. I'm a conservative when it comes to spending our money while still seeking progress in developing our city. The answer is not to eliminate or contract out services, but rather grow and improve their efficiencies. My expectations for Campbellsville is that we can live in a safe city, a clean city, and its employees provide you with timely and efficient services. If you want real progress, if you want to see things done with your hard-earned tax money, then I'm the one for the job. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you want to just hang tight there, we'll start with you for our first question. Ms. Kate Cecil will have that for you.
If elected, what are your top 3 priorities for the city, and what specific actions do you plan to take in your first 100 days?
I think that's very clear. Number 1, financial security is so important that we establish and make sure and maintain that we have the financial stability or plan to get there the way we were when I was mayor. The second thing, we need to do something to do about our garbage collection. It's terrible. It's a disaster. We've got to do something. We're tied into a contract, but we've got to do something. I have plans to work on that, and I promise you they will hear from me. And the third thing, we need to work with parks and development and our sports complex, our pool, our park, or something. So I plan to work very hard, very soon, on those 3 items, and you'll hear more about that from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bingfield, if you entertain that same question, please. Kate, would you repeat that?
If elected, what are your top 3 priorities for the city, and what specific actions do you plan to take in your first 100 days?
The top 3 priorities that I would have as a mayor is, number 1 is, from my very beginning on this, that I think the top priority in this town is to complete our economic development plan and to bring in new industries for Campbellsville. We have to expand Campbellsville's revenue, and by doing that, we bring in new jobs and new factories for Campbellsville. We do that. That's my number 1 priority. Also with people in this community, we need to modernize our park that we have now. And one of the, all across the community, is we definitely will have to seek every opportunity to bring in some type of water recreation back into the town of Campbellsville. And we need to do that through grants. City in the past, we have never explored grants the way we need to do it. And as mayor, I would see to it that we would have a full-time grant writer for the city of Campbellsville, if not 2 grant writers. Anytime that you have state and federal monies and you're just letting it go aside, you're not benefiting the city of Campbellsville. That's the only way to get our infrastructure going. We also need, I want to advocate for new developments for our residential needs that was mentioned earlier. But we have to move forward. That was going to be my number 1 priority, and that's been my start from the very beginning, is we're going to have to expand for Campbellsville.
Thank you very much. If you want to hold tight, we'll get the next question for you. And Hannah, would you present that, please?
Do you support or oppose outsourcing city services within Campbellsville, such as garbage and 911 EMS? Please elaborate.
Okay, I didn't catch the very first part. I'm sorry.
Do you support or oppose outsourcing city services within Campbellsville, such as garbage, E911, or EMS? Please elaborate.
I oppose to outsource any of those facilities. I've been around emergency services my whole career. I want to expand our technology for 911 and EMS and the fire. We have the very best services for this community, be as small a community as we are, and my job as mayor would be to help that. As far as the 911 communications, there's an interoperability statewide initiative across the state. It doesn't do away with 911. It's that our towers that we can use for the Q towers and also the state police towers to bring in case we have disasters, we'll have better radio communication from hand to hand all across the state of Kentucky. And that initiative is being operated at this time, and that's something to look into. But I will keep all of our services, our ambulance and our fire and our rescue. We have to have that for this community, but I also have to look at and enhancing those services for future growth. So you don't outsource them, you look and prepare for the growth of this town and you enhance them.
Thank you very much. If you would allow Mr. Young to answer that same question, please.
First of all, the contract.
Would you like the question repeated,
Nope,
Tony?
I'm
Okay.
good.
All right.
First of all, the contract that we're currently is in effect is unacceptable. It has tied the city for years. It's come without any options to terminate or adjust any terms. It's obvious that one company is not capable of servicing combined responsibilities of the city, the county, and commercial businesses. I had a restaurant manager escort me through their restaurant back to their dumpster to show them their problem, and they're complaining about the lack of service and how it affects their store ratings and their employees' pay. My knowledge from management in the private sector tells me that a company operating for profit is going to keep their cost as low as possible. They are not running a service. They are running a business with as few employees as they can to keep their costs down to make money. We will not renew that contract with the current terms. In the meantime, I will make myself known to their management. I will talk with them, I'll share complaints with them, and I'll offer them ideas.
Thank you very much. And if you would just hang tight for the next question, I believe that would be Shelby.
Do you support the continuation of the fire chief and overseeing of EMS services? Why or why not?
I think this was an outstanding move, especially with the personnel that we have now. Absolutely. We are second to none here with our emergency response personnel. Putting the chief over that, gosh, we couldn't have found a better person to do that than what we've done. So I'm very proud of our services. I think it's a good move. If you know that that's a coordinated effort now between the city and the county. The county's asked for more involvement now, which is great, where it used to be mainly the responsibility of the city. But now that they're doing it together, it's even better. So I think that was a coordinated effort between those two governing bodies, and I think that was an excellent move.
Mr. Bingfield, same question. Would you like to have it repeated?
Yes, please.
Do you support the continuation of the fire chief and overseeing of EMS services, and why or why not?
Well, absolutely. When you talk about EMS and the fire and rescue, the only thing is, several years ago, the EMS was taken out of hazardous duty. Our fire and the rescue personnel are hazardous duty employees. I think if you're going to work as a combination together, they all need to have the same equal positions for either hazardous duty or not. That's a great big difference for employees. Everybody needs to be treated equally and fairly, and I'm not against in any way, shape, or form with the EMS and the merger. I think everybody needs to be cross-trained. It makes a better group of individuals that when they get to the scene, you've got personnel cross-trained that one can do and one can do the other. But one thing that needs to be looked at, and that hasn't, is the equal pay and the hazardous duty from the non-hazardous. But we have a great EMS, we have a great fire. We have the best rescue with the county, and like you said, this is an interlocal agreement between rescue and EMS. So we'll all continue to work with the county to have the very best services that we can have for this community. Thank you.
Thank you. If you'd just like to hang tight, we'll get you the next question, and that will be from Ms. Kate Cecil.
As mayor, how will you foster the partnership with Campbellsville University to be beneficial to both parties?
Well, one of the things with Campbellsville University is their expansion, and it's great. But as a mayor, and one thing, and I think you'd hit on it on one of the previous questions with one of the other parties, was I would like to find out and meet, and which I am, and I'm going to again, is meet with the university to find out exactly what type degrees and the personnel that we have and the students, what they're actually pursuing. And I'd like to be able to incorporate that into the city because we're short of employees. I know that they're helping now, and they can do, I think we can put a paramedic situation together that they can train paramedics. Right now they're having to go off to college to do that. That would be beneficial to us. And I would just work with university, and I think they would be more than willing to work with the city of Campbellsville. We have valuable students there. Nothing else, they could help out with grant writing. There's a lot of things we can do to help each other, and I'll explore every one of those opportunities.
Thank you. Mr. Young, would you entertain the same question? Kate, would you repeat that, please?
I'm good. Campbellsville University is a great partner of this community. It's amazing what they do. You know, there's a lot of places that you go that a lot of cities and a lot of counties are trying to do something to get the same thing that we have right here in our own backyard, and that's Campbellsville University. No, our own front yard, right here in Campbellsville University. I love that they're growing, and they're about to connect with actual downtown. They're about to connect with one of the major shopping centers because they're growing. Anything we can do with Campbellsville University is awesome because they don't touch anything until whenever they leave it, it's much better than it was when they got it. And I'm so proud and thankful that we've got that here in our community. We're so fortunate. You know, I've talked with them numerous times about curriculum and certificates and degrees they can offer. They're expanding from, they went from nursing, associate's degree to a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Well, now I think they're even working, I know they're working on a nurse practitioner program. So Campbellsville University is excited. Anything they do, I love to grab a hold of their coattails and help them bring the city and make it be even better. So I love Campbellsville University. You know, it's just what they do for this community is unreal.
Thank you very much. If you'll hang tight, we'll give you the next question, and Hannah will have that for you.
With a new battery manufacturing facility being built some 45 miles away in Glendale, what are your plans as mayor what will your plans as mayor be to address opportunities and challenges of this project?
You know, that brings several challenges, but several opportunities. Nothing's easy, and that's why we like it. If it's difficult, anybody could do it, but we're at Campbellsville, we can do it. The judge mentioned expanding 210. That would be awesome. You know, we've got it going to Lebanon. I've driven it several times going that way, and it feels like I'm so much more relaxed now when I'm driving that road. I don't know why. I just don't feel as stressed. But I'd love to see 210 expanded to at least 3 lanes. You know, that would be great. I hope that happens. I just think that we're going to have people traveling those roads, and hopefully we'll get a satellite plant off of that to come here. And what I want to do is get ready for that. You know, make ourselves look good. We improve our quality of life. Make us a place that people want to be. Come here and enjoy Campbellsville and see how great it is. We know how great it is. We just need everyone else to realize it and come here and bring their companies here with us.
Thank you very much. Dennis, if you would entertain the same question, and Hannah, would you repeat that, please?
With a new battery manufacturing facility being built some 45 miles away in Glendale, what will your plans as mayor be to address opportunities and challenges of this project?
I don't look at it as challenges. I've told you before that I have already met with our regional leaders of this community. I've met with the mayor personally himself and all of his staff and his economic development people. So I know what is happening, and I know that there's opportunities that's going to be coming off of that for Campbellsville in this area, hopefully, like as they say, spin-off factories. We need that. We need that for this community. As far as the 210 and it being the 2-3 highway like it is to Columbia and everywhere, that's great. We need that. There's already been private individuals that's reached out to me that want to expand that territory into new residential housing, subdivisions and things of that nature. But it's important that we're going to have to work on our infrastructure to those locations whenever we get to those areas that we need to expand. We have to have that infrastructure in place. Anymore, if anybody locates into the city now, for them to have sewer, they have to annex into the city. That wasn't done years ago. We had industry coming in here, and they was in the county, not taking anything away from the county, but the county benefited on occupational tax and things of that nature, but we didn't own any property tax or anything of that nature. Now, if they want our city sewer services, they have to annex that property into the city.
Thank you very much. And if you'd like to entertain the next question, Shelby, if you would ask that question, please.
What is your commitment to cleaning up areas of town with dilapidated buildings, houses, or just general non-upkeep?
I'm glad you asked that question. That was one of all the areas in town that I covered going door to door, that was probably the number one on the list, was all of the abandoned properties that we have, trash and things of that nature. And it's only been one situation, and that all boils down to, and we have city ordinances, it's called codes enforcement, property maintenance. And I, if elected mayor, I plan on putting a task force together. It's hard for one individual to be able to go out here and do all of that on their own. That's why you put task force together. You have the police involved, you have the codes enforcement involved, you have the attorneys involved, but it's time for these areas and these people that own these properties to get on board, follow our city ordinances, or action will be taken. It's as simple as that. And that would absolutely clean these areas up. And if they want to get rid of these locations, bulldoze them down, then we can work with having new housing put up in those locations. You know, we're talking about property. If we can get rid of those properties, we can have opportunities for new housing in those development areas. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Young, would you address that same question? Would you like it repeated?
No. I think it's very important that we work with our abandoned and properties that are just left for who knows what to do and to clean up. You know, I'm all for cleaning them up. But as bad as we want to, we've got regulations we've got to follow. We've got to clean up. Everything is there. The council's done the work. The ordinances are in place. It just needs to be followed up on. And it's obviously the last 3 years or so that's kind of not been enforced or followed. So certainly we've got to do something. That's where a lot of the drugs come from. Well, not always, but a lot of them, that's a good shelter for them. So that needs to be cleaned up. So absolutely, clean them up.
Thank you. And if you'll stay right there, we'll go to the next question with you. And Kate will ask that.
What specific steps as mayor will you take to help address the homeless situation in Campbellsville?
You know, the homeless situation, It's difficult for a mayor to control that. The mayor's responsible for the day-to-day operations of the city, the personnel, the EMS, the rescue, the fire, the streets, the parks, the water, the sewer. The mayor can't go do something about that. It's bigger than us. It's like the drug problem. It's bigger than us. Some people want to work, some people don't want to work. Some people choose that lifestyle, some people don't. We've got to do something to stay on top of that, but it's more than us. It takes our community groups, it takes churches, treatment facilities, schools, and all kinds of groups to come together. It's more than the mayor can do. I would be happy to lead the cause and continue that, the homeless problem and the homeless shelter, but our churches are doing a great job right now in Campbellsville and Taylor County. The Green River Ministries and other churches are taking it upon themselves to help with the homeless. So I'm very thankful for our churches and our local agencies on what they're doing.
Very good. Mr. Benningfield, would you like to address that same question?
I live near the city park of Campbellsville. I know that there's a housing problem. I see these people walk up and down through the trails that we have there. They've actually camped out into the woods. They use that creek to wash in. It's a problem. It really is. But we do have organizations here in town. I have actually pulled up to them when I was chief police here, and I would see that our housing authority at that time would give those people a place to live. And I think it's just a matter of finding the right resources to get these people where they need to go. We have all kinds of organizations here to provide food and family. You have to understand, there are individuals who just do not want to live anywhere. They want to just be homeless. I mean, we've talked to those individuals, you know. So what do? It's not a mental health issue. It's just they choose to do that. But we, as a mayor and as a city, we just need to provide them with all the resources that they need, that they can have a good life. And especially wintertime, we always make sure the police always patrol those areas and never leave nobody out in cold weather or leave them abandoned. Thank you.
Thank you. Dennis, if you'll stay up there, then the next question will be for you, and it will be by Hannah.
If elected, what would your plans for the land that was purchased for a new sports park?
Okay, so I'm not against the sports park. A lot of towns have sports parks. I just think right now we have the land. We owe $700,000 on the current land that we have. We don't have infrastructure to the sports park. That'd be another $500,000-$600,000. Drainage would cost another $500,000-$600,000. That's not counting building the parks. That's just getting it ready. I think we can do it, but to do that, you're going to have a good strategic plan together. You're going to have to do it in very small phases, but put a strategic plan together for 2 years and 5 years and build it from there. We can't just go out and build it. We don't have it. We need to take care of what we do have to keep it from going bad now. But there you go again. If we can bring in industries, bring in that revenue, we don't collect any restaurant tax fees or transient room fees. And for the city of Campbellsville, that's how these other cities, through tourism, and that was brought up too, that needs to be a part for Campbellsville too. We need to share and work together with our tourism, especially if we can get those laws changed to where we can work together on that. By doing that, we can accomplish it, but it has to be in phases.
Thank you. Mr. Young, would you address that same question, please?
Sure. Sports complexes. I'm ready to go. I had people lined up, volunteers ready to come, donors ready to come. We're ready to go. I can remember when I played ball at the old Campbellsville High School. And then we played at the, used to be Durham campus. And then as I got out of that and my son started playing, they started playing down in Miller Park. All those parks were built by volunteers and donations. That can be done, people. That can be done. Where there's a will, there's a way. We can't throw our hands up and say, oh, it costs so much, we can't do it. We got to do what we can to make the best for our community. We got to do what we can. Our girls are in desperate shape. Have you gone down there and watched the girls play? I had a grandchild just go through that age. She travels ball. We've gone to towns half the size of Campbellsville, and they have one of the most beautiful sports complexes. They had a quad sitting there. It's great, but our girls are in desperate shape. Our boys are doing great. It's kind of crowded. Love to see that improve. They seem to be pretty much content, but they would also like to grow, I'm sure, and get better facilities. But it can be done. And I had started a savings for that. And it's not going to pay for all of it. It's not going to pay for all the paving, all the blacktop and everything. But where there's a will, there's a way. We've done it before. We can do it again. This sports complex can be bigger and better as much as this community wants. So I'm determined to do whatever this community wants to do with that. Whether it's new industry take that land or what. You mentioned $700, $700,000 is what it's worth. $10,000 an acre, that's what it's bringing now? What's that worth out there? It's worth a lot of money. So I think it was an excellent investment, and our community deserves it. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. And if you would hang loose and entertain the next question from Ms. Shelby.
Our county has a diverse population. How do you plan to ensure inclusion within the city and its events?
We've always included everyone. Everyone's important to us. And I've always constantly working out, main thing is get the best person for the job, but also the best person and include everyone having the opportunity and everyone able to get a chance to have a job. I think it's kind of challenging right now to get some people to apply for some of the jobs, but love to work on, love to have diversification all we can. It's in the front page, front burner, absolutely.
Thank you very much. Mr. Benningfield, would you entertain that same question, and would you repeat that, Shelby?
Absolutely. You know, when you talk about diversity, you think about metropolitan cities, big cities. But you know, we are a rural area. So when it comes to diversity, we have to accept as a rural community, and everybody has their own unique characteristics. And it doesn't matter. Diversity brings a workforce, like for the city of Campbellsville or any workforce, and it's been proven, with a higher morale. Because everybody has their own characteristics, and everybody can come to the table and with ideas to share and to explore, and it just makes a better community. It makes a better workforce. We're an equal opportunity employer for the city of Campbellsville. You know, there again, we can go with the university. They have a lot of children from foreign countries. We need that. We need ideas. We don't want to stick to our old plain rural ideas that we've had for years. So I invite that. So, thank you.
Thank you as well. All right, so this is our last question of the evening. And Dennis, if you'll entertain that, please. And Kate will ask that.
What specifically would you do to foster the relationship between our city and county governments?
Well, I've known Eddie Rogers and I've known Barry Smith my whole life. I don't have any problem. We need to work together. That's just like we do with our ambulance now and our rescue and our 911. We have to work together. If we're going to build Campbellsville, Taylor County together, you have to have that relationship. When I was talking about expanding, yes, the city, we need revenue. The county needs revenue. But when something big comes in or whatever else, we work together because it helps the whole community as a whole. We can also work on a lot of grants together. We've done this in the past through 911. We've shared grants to getting radio equipment and things that we need. So it wouldn't be a problem for me. I'm open arms with working with whoever's elected, and I hope that they would be me too. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Tony, would you address that same question, please? Sure.
I think the city and county government is like Dennis said, you know, we're one. We're together. We're Campbellsville. We're Taylor County. We're all one. Police departments always work together, always support each other. The city and county, they both do their best, and they always will support each other. EMS, rescue, fire, city, county work together. We're a small community, but we're a smart community. We're a good community, and we can get it done. And I love this. I know that we're going to be fine in city and county. We've never had a problem. We disagree every now and then, and kind of like my wife says, they have a right to be wrong. But, you know, most of the time, city and county get along real well. I'm very happy, very fortunate. You know, maybe in years past, but not that I can been involved in that there's ever been an issue with city and county government.
Thank you very much. And Tony, would you like to go ahead and move into your closing statement for the night, please?
Yes, yes. As we're here tonight, we as individuals are facing difficult economic times. We have to figure out what to cut back on. Do we want to get gas for the car to go to work? Or do we want to buy groceries? The same's for the city. Expenses like fuel and supplies have risen. Yet there are many things we can't function without. For instance, emergency services. It's a necessary service, but cost of fuel and supplies have risen. We have the best in the state, and we expect no less. Water. We must have a clean water system. Chemicals for filtration, the costs have also risen. But we have the best. And I am proud of my administration's accomplishments of getting the water supply rebuilt to cover our community. And it is imperative that we keep 911 services local. Local people, local knowledge, and quick responses are critical. Farming out vital services for someone else to do the job is not an option. We have seen firsthand how bad service can be. Just look at our garbage service disaster. It got farmed out. Our success lies among us, our local community. When local community is involved in the betterment of where we live, our community succeeds. It's because of these issues that it is critical that Campbellsville have someone leading our city that has the experience and the ability to make sound financial decisions. We need results, not just promises. I want to be part of making the city the best it can be. That is why I'm asking for your vote Tuesday, November the 8th, to be mayor again. I promise to work every day to make Campbellsville a better place for everyone. Thank you, and may God bless our city.
Thank you very much. Mr. Benningfield, if you would make your closing statement, please.
The citizens of Campbellsville deserve a leader that is honest and trustworthy. You deserve a leader that refuses to submit to favoritism. You need to trust in the mayor that you have to know that their door is open. If you have a problem, you can come talk to that mayor. I've reached out to people in this community, and I know their concerns. And the concerns that they have is things that we need to look at. Everything from no places for our youth to be able to reach out together, a community center, everything from dogs or whatever. I have listened to them. But if elected mayor, I'll be accessible to everybody. I'll be inclusive, and I'll trust the expertise of our department leaders. Our resources that we have now will not be put out to somebody else to take care of that's been mentioned. I will strive to build a collaborative culture within our city government, not a divisive culture, which can lead to distrust. I'll be a mayor for you, and I'll stick to the initiative of my vision and direction for Campbellsville. I'll be innovative in creating all of these things that I've told you that I'll do. I'd like to thank the Rotary Club for again having me here tonight, or us, on this debate. I just ask that come November the 8th, that you'll elect me as your next mayor. There won't be anybody that's any hard working than I am. But one thing you can depend on me is honesty and integrity. And when I tell you something, it's honestly. I'm going to touch a little bit on this garbage issue that I didn't get to earlier if I got just a few minutes. The problem is everybody wants to bring everything back. We're contracted. The problem is communication. Nobody reaches out. I've reached out to these people that's in the garbage field and that Waste Connections. The same problems that we had when we had our garbage. Couldn't find employees. We pay $12 an hour. They pay $18, $19 an hour. $165,000 a piece for a garbage truck. We receive franchise fees for the city of Campbellsville. It's just a situation that we have to work together to make things happen. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you all for participating tonight. Thank you all for being here.